We live in a world where we are constantly problem solving, whether the problem is how to get into college, how to get a date with a new kid in school, or how to hide your iPod from your teacher. All of us have years of experience in solving whatever issues we face, sometimes solving them well, or not so well. And ultimately, our solution can have lasting results. Problem solving in computer science involves the same steps that you need to solve any problem successfully. This is Joe, and this is the house where Joe lives with his parents. Joe's mom realizes that the family is out of chips, and asks him to get some, but Joe doesn't listen very well, and thinks his mother has asked for chaps. He immediately rushes out to the costume store and picks up a cowboy outfit. Since chaps and salsa don't go so well together, something must have gone wrong. Joe failed to understand the problem. Joe eventually realizes his mistake and returns the John Wayne outfit. Without understanding what the problem is asking, you run the risk of answering the wrong question, just like Joe did. That's why it's so important. Now that Joe understands the problem, it's time for the next step, coming up with a solution to the problem. But because of where he lives, he has some very important decisions to make. In order to solve the problem of getting chips, Joe has to figure out a path from his house to Potato Chip Town, a town that is full of potato chips. The shorter path from his house to Potato Chip Town goes through Bully Town, a town that is full of bullies. This route only takes 10 minutes, but he runs the risk of getting beaten up. Alternatively, Joe could take the longer path to Potato Chip Town that goes through Mountain Town, a town full of big valleys and several really confused mountain goats. On this route, Joe is safe from being beaten up, but it takes 2 hours instead of 10 minutes. Which route should Joe take? The really safe, but really long path, or the really short, but really dangerous one? And sometimes the best solution is not one of the obvious ones, but requires some creative thinking to come up with. After thinking for a while, Joe comes up with a solution better than the other two. He realizes he can make another visit to the costume shop, but this time he'll buy a policeman's outfit. He'll be able to use the route to Potato Chip Town without having to worry about the bullies. Without even leaving his house, Joe has come up with a solution to the problem. Joe is so excited about how smart he is, he runs straight to Bully Town, completely forgetting about picking up the costume. He is subsequently beaten up, ironically, with a bag of potato chips. What went wrong? Joe succeeded at 1. Understanding the problem, and 2. Coming up with a solution, but failed at implementing the solution. After Joe recovers, he correctly implements his solution. He gets the policeman outfit, walks through Bully Town unharmed, and is able to return with the chips. After implementing his solution, Joe reflects on what he did. Could he have done something differently or better? Was buying the costume worth the value of the chips? What did he learn in the whole process? Can he solve other problems this way? Many problems you face in computer science, and for that matter in life, involve these steps. As a computer scientist, when you first read a problem description, it's a good rule of thumb to read it over at least 3 times. It'll help you to understand and avoid answering the wrong problem. Once you understand the problem, you can then try and solve it with an algorithm. This usually involves a whiteboard or something to draw on, so you can brainstorm solutions until you come up with one that works. Once you have a solution that you think works, you can then implement the solution. A computer programmer usually implements the solution typing it in a computer language like Java, C++, or Lisp. If your implementation doesn't work, maybe it's because your solution wasn't right. And your solution may not be right because you didn't quite understand everything about the initial problem. When Joe starts to master the steps to problem solving, not only does Joe start to make better decisions, but Joe might become a computer scientist, and then have other problems to worry about.